Hey, this is John Levin of Dawkins, and you're watching CMS TV.
Speaking of iPhones and stuff, you brought up a good point about, how good these camera phones are.
Oh yeah.
When I was out on the road last week with Dawkins, I don't watch live television, news and things like that. I don't watch any of that. But, when I'm in the hotel room, flip the TV on because I don't really watch TV,
Right.
network channels and stuff. What I noticed, though, now is that because television stations, the local stations, are probably, just barely hanging on because who's watching network TV anymore?
Yeah, probably not many.
Yeah. So what I'm noticing now is that these TV stations have cut back so much with their staff and their equipment and all that other stuff. I noticed on a couple of different occasions that the on-site reporters, hey, we're live out here at such and such where something happened.
Right.
These reporters are holding up their own phone and reporting live using their phone.
Of course. Yeah, they do. It's just the way of the world these days. Look, when I had John here last week, I don't know, did you watch any of the actual video content?
I did not get to watch the video part. I did listen to the audio segments, but I did not watch the video portion.
Well, the video came out really pretty well, actually. I mean, very clear. John's video was pretty clear. I had this thing that I spent, I think, $49 on. It's a big green circle thing that we attached to John's chair. And then I was able to green screen it out and put a background behind him, and it looks fucking perfect. I mean, it really looks perfect. And if you saw how you've been here to see the fucking jerry rigging I did with this, with towels taped up over walls and fucking a green screen nailed to the wall. I did it that way. And then when I put the camera in, I literally took one of these Logitech cameras that, what do they cost? $80?
Yeah, they're coming down in price even more now, but yeah.
They cost nothing. And I shot him in 4K.
Yeah.
I shot him in 4K. And it looks better than any of that video that you're talking about when they go, hey, this is Maria out on location on Skype. I love that now when they say, yeah, we're going live on location, and they show them and they're clearly just holding their phone out like this.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, I'm here on location, and there's a big flood.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. So they don't even have a camera crew anymore.
No.
These on-site reporters, they just have to go out there with their phone and hold their phone up and give their on-site reporting while holding their phone up like a selfie stick.
Yeah, that's probably what they did. They replaced the cameraman with a selfie stick.
Yeah.
Here you go. Get out there. Make sure you send it in. And in fact, we're not even going to pay for Wi-Fi on there. Go over by McDonald's and use their free Wi-Fi.
Exactly. But that's what it's all come down to now because, network TV is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same way with commercial radio and whatnot. And so for those that are still out there doing something, providing the local news, they're orders here, take your iPhone out there. No, we don't have a camera crew or a van anymore.
Yeah. No, just get out there. Take your car. And we're not going to reimburse you for gas either. Fuckface.
Just write it off on we'll give you a 1099. Write it off your taxes.
We're going to give you $25 for that story.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to piecemeal your stories.
Yeah. It is really, really sad that's where we've come to. You know what else is sad when you see it these days? Ooh, Topanga. That's not sad. But no. Anyway, the other thing that is sad is, I've been watching, like I said before, I've been watching a lot of Crackle and a lot of Pluto TV. And with those two platforms, they run some local commercials.
Okay.
And it is immediately clear when they switch from commercial company that has money versus commercial company that has no money, because commercial that has money looks clean.
Yeah, it's professional and clean.
Commercial that has no money looks like it was shot in 1985. It has that haze of blur. So it just looks all blurry and sloppy.
Was it a commercial for Maury's wigs?
Maury's, yeah, exactly.
They don't come off.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, he's being choked out. That's one of my favorite scenes in that whole fucking movie, when he's choking about, and instead of trying to help him, Ray Liotta's just laughing his ass off because the wig pulled back.
Yeah. Well, but see, this is where I pat you and I on the back. Yeah. We've been self-producing for years. Mm-hmm. Now everybody else now is just catching up. We've been doing it on the fly and on the next to no budget.
Yeah.
For decades now.
Yeah, so we know what it costs. So don't tell us that this costed some great amount of money, because it costs shit.
Yeah.
It costs nothing.
Yeah. So that's where commercial TV is at now, is filming it on your iPhone now.
Yeah. I wonder if some of those guys, like what is that guy that does the news network guy, but he's not really a news guy, but he sits at a desk.
Gary Franchi.
Yeah, I wonder if he has like a tripod with his iPhone set up in front of that desk.
Well, I'm sure he has some kind of he probably uses like Brio cameras or something.
Okay.
And he probably because I noticed that, the cameras switch. He's got like a two camera shoot thing going on.
Sure.
Because so I think that he probably has like two Logitech cameras of some kind and a green screen like you, and he runs that video behind him, and he sits at his news desk.
Yeah.
Probably in the room, in a room the size of your room.
Yeah, and just does it.
In fact, I sent something to Chris here earlier this week. I think it was Paul Carrick, and they were on what was it? Midnight Express or something like that?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And they were. I don't know if you watched that video, Chris, but the way that they had to lip sync and pretend like they were playing.
Oh yeah.
Even back in the day, it was so clear that they were doing these music videos or music appearances.
Midnight Express or Midnight Oil?
No, I think it was Midnight Express or something like that.
Express, yeah.
Okay. and it was just hysterical. It was Ace. How long?
Right.
Okay.
And they were all like acting like they were rocking out on the stage, but it was very, very clear that none of them had their instruments plugged in or anything. And the drummer, you could tell he was like not even tapping his drums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they were playing the studio track while they were playing, and they were just lip syncing along.
Some of those are hilarious. Like a lot of the Top of the Pops are like that too, because a lot of these bands, they never did lip syncing, so they're like, and you could tell they're just like completely like, what the fuck do I do? It's and sometimes they'll have just the vocals live and everything else on tape. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what this Ace was. This was Top of the Pops.
Okay, yeah. A lot of those Top of the Pops were like that, yeah. It's hilarious. It is funny watching those old things.
I'll tell you, the best ones of those to watch are anything Dick Clark American Bandstand with rock bands, because they didn't have rock bands on that often. They always had like Donna Summer and disco and dance shit, because that's what American Bandstand was. So when they would have rock bands, the camera guys didn't know how to shoot it.
Right.
And the producers didn't know how to shoot it. And they would constantly be catching the wrong angle of somebody being like 3 feet away from the microphone while you heard vocals and stuff. So fucking funny to watch. If you pull up any, like, there's a classic one of Bon Jovi on they were doing Runaway, I think was the song they were doing, or She Don't Know Me, one of the two first hits. And there's a shot, it's like a side angle shot of John Bon Jovi, to where you can see that he's probably 2 feet to the right of the microphone, and you still hear vocals coming out. And he's so far from the microphone, it's just sad how bad it looks. But it's because their producers and their camera guys just didn't know how to shoot rock bands. They only knew how to shoot single performance. I mean, you think about it, a Donna Summer, you have a camera in the front, and then you have an overhead that's also in the front.
Then you have a camera on her ass. Oh,
no, you don't even have that. You have front shot where you just have her. You have the overhead that shows the band fake playing behind her. And that's all you had. Yeah. So it's camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2 for people that know anything about video. Then they would get these metal bands and they didn't know what to do with them. So they would have like 4 or 5 cameras and they were at angles. They weren't straight on the keyboard player, straight on the drummer, straight on the guitar player. They would kind of shoot at angles because they also kept trying to make it so they were invisible when they would show the fucking idiots dancing.
Right.
So
Soul Train was the best.
Yeah, Soul Train was, but at least they had the right music. Soul Train didn't stray too far from the Soul Train music, but yeah.
Well, the interviews were even better when they did the rock bands. Like you see, I remember Y&T were on there once, and you could tell Dick Clark knows nothing about this band or nothing about these bands, and the interviews are even more funny. Yeah.
It's like, hey, you're yesterday and today. Is that right, guys?
Exactly.
Now, do you anticipate Steven going and doing some solo stuff? Once things get fired back up. I know he's pretty involved with Rat at the moment, but do you anticipate rejoining Steven and going out as Stephen Piercy's band?
Yeah, he has talked about that. I knew that it was going to be a while till that happened. I was guessing 3 years minimum, just with them having to do a new Rat lineup, recoup all the BS from the lawsuits and everything, that, him going out solo would have worked against that. So I knew that there was going to be a hiatus. And that's why I was doing other things and, gladly took the Bow Wow Wow thing, and so forth. But I think that, like probably maybe a year from now or so, absolutely we could end up doing that again. And I think that's why I'm not playing in Rat, for that reason, because he does intend at some point to play solo again. And we just,
and what,
part of that.
You couldn't do both?
No, I don't think I could have done both.
He does.
That would have been weird.
Why would that be weird? He does both.
Well, I mean, it comes down to promoters and, them going, well, it's just your solo band. I mean, I know they don't want that. They don't want to, when it comes to Rat, they already say that now. They're like, oh, this is just Steven's. So can you imagine if I was in there, then it really would be his solo band and they'd never hear the end of it, because it's just, we played together for so long, 19 years plus years.
Right.
It's its own thing. And I know that's how he looks at it. And he doesn't want to give that up to meld it together and bring it to the one thing. I've accepted that and it's okay.
It's okay.
I like what we do.
I'm going to say it. You don't have to agree, but it's okay for you. I think it's bullshit, personally. I think you should absolutely have that gig in Rat. If there's a better payday to be made, it should be you, who's been with them for 20 fucking years.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no to it. But, I mean, and a lot of people have assumed that when this other guy left, that they were going to pull me into that. And I'm flattered that people thought that. But, I mean, truth be told, I have not heard one peep out of those guys. Usually Steve would be the first one to go, hey, we're going to be trying people out. Why don't you come up? Or, there was no talk like that. So I honestly, he and I haven't even discussed that aspect of who they're going to get for this tour. I just know that our communications now are the music that he and I are working on together. And that's it. you know, I mean, but he did make mention, you know, in text and so forth that he does want to do another solo record and he does want to do shows to promote it. So that's his words, you know. So according to him, the answer is yes, we are going to play together again at some point.
You hear all the banter in the background?
Yeah, it's all like Arriba, Arriba.
Arriba, America, going into America.
It's me a cerveza.
What do you think possessed them to even write a song like this?
Who knows? I mean, was that even a thing in 1982?
This was 80. I think this came out in 83, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it 82, 83, somewhere in there?
It was like 83 or 80. I'm pretty sure it's 83 this album came out.
Let's take a look. Genesis.
Because I was working at Camelot Music when this came out.
I stole this one from this was one of those 13 albums for a penny.
I was in college working at Camelot Music.
October 3rd, 1983.
See, I knew it.
Nope. Yeah, Arriba.
Consideration for your fellow man.
What are you doing with that affect, Phil?
For your fellow man. He's cooking me a taco in a rounded shaped pan. Is that not the lyrics?
No.
Oh, all right.
But it would fit right in.
It'd be perfect.
Not hurt anybody. It sure fits in with my plan.
Over the border.
That is where I go. I going to go there. Maybe I see the snow.
I love the fact that he puts an affect on his on his diction.
Someone put the picture of him in there from the video where he was trying to look like a Mexican.
Yeah, wasn't he wearing a sombrero or something in the video?
Maybe, but look at that photo. Phil Collins is a Mexican.
Oh, he is? Yeah. He's got the big Sanchez mustache.
That is hysterical. The big old muff cleaner there he's got on his face.
So funny. It's just like I'm really surprised that somebody hasn't just like nailed them for that.
Yeah, Genesis has gotten away with this, apparently.
Yeah, look what they did.
Yeah.
Look what they did. They were stigmatizing the Mexicans.
Yeah.
Great is that? I love it.
I love it. It's hysterical.
Is the promised land where everything comes easy. You just hold out your hand.
That's due to white privilege, pal.
All right, I'm going to disagree with Rock and Roll Cola. Up and down all day long, he says, yes, we're a better band than Genesis. No fucking way.
No.
Maybe more musically talented as players, but song-wise, no fucking way.
No. Yeah, listen to Seconds Out.
Listen to everything except for this kind of silliness. You know, listen to everything leading up to this album and half of this album.
Yeah.
You know, I love this album, but I could see where you wouldn't like Illegal Alien. That's
terrible. That was just a silly song. But
and before I go, shout out to the Classic Metal Show. I did an interview on there yesterday. Dudes are intelligent, awesome, prepared, funny. Please check them out. Classic Metal Show. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.